Hey, Lynn here. So excited to talk to you today about conversations on social media. This is what's going to put money in your bank. And I learned this from the Higdon Group, and it is so powerful that I wanted to share it with you. We've been talking about doing engagement posts and on your personal Facebook page and on your your personal Instagram page, right? And doing Facebook stories and especially doing reels and such to get more engagement on your page. So I'm going to be talking mostly about comments in reels, but this can work for posts as well. So reels and stories are critical to growing your business. This is how you're going to get people to notice you. If you've been posting on Facebook and getting no results or views, you're going to need to start doing more engagement type posts. Really simple things like asking a question that they can answer in the comments. Like what's the temperature where you are? Or what do you prefer, hot dogs or hamburgers? Those are like super easy and people love to answer them. They can do it really quick. But reels and stories are like critical if you want to grow online because just posting on social media alone is not going to grow your business. Getting people to notice you, getting their eyeballs on you is exactly what you want. The more you can get noticed, the better. But that's just where it starts. That's the beginning of the journey, right? You need to now learn how to convert those eyeballs into buyers and team members when it makes sense to do so. So, not you're not always going to do that, but when it makes sense. So, you're never going to achieve the whole point of this if you don't get people to, look at your opportunity or your products, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to build our business. And so you're not going to do that if you can't create conversations. And so I'm super excited about this training. This is incredibly important if you're working to build your business online. If you don't do this, you're going to be leaving money on the table after all the hard work of getting those leads and engagement on your social media. And oh, by the way, anyone who engages with you in any way is a possible lead. But that doesn't mean you should shoot them a link or try to sell them, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. So this is really basic human psychology. It's literally what we're going to do all day long, every day. And everything that we need to do, everything that we do online needs to be wrapped around what's in it for them, right? It has to be what's in it for them because that's really all we all care about. What's in it for me, right? But with a high posture and a sense of urgency. So let's start with your call to action, your CTA. Everything needs to be broken down and really simple. You might think it's simple, but the audience is very distracted, right? They're scrolling. They're just literally scrolling. And the idea is we want to get them to stop, right? So when we have a CTA, we're wanting them to do something very specific. So like in your reel, you might say something like, drop how in the comments to learn more, or message me to learn more, right? So what you put in the description of your video or in the description, like in the caption of your video or your post is also very important. So what you're going to say in just a couple of sentences is you're going to add another CTA in the body of your text. So what are you going to talk about? Well, it needs to be congruent with whatever your message is inside your video or your image. So if you're talking like paycheck to paycheck, what are you going to put in there in your call to action that's going to pull them in? You've got their attention. So now their eyes are going straight down to the comment section. And what are they going to see first? Well, they're going to see your CTA. This is your second CTA. And so it's basically your second call to action. You already have their attention. You caught their attention with your reel, right? Or your story. And so what's in the caption is what's going to make them start texting. It's what's going to make them respond. And that's the most important thing. So you can use the same call to action that you have in the video. Often I'll put the text on my video, like drop freedom to learn more. And then in the description, I might put that exact same call to action, word for word. It makes sense because it's congruent and they've seen it twice now. So it really helps to cement that in their mind. But your caption is also your opportunity to share why this should matter to them. That is critical, right? That should come across in your video, obviously. But because your video is very short, here's your chance to say a little more or expand on what you said in your video. So on Facebook Reels, you have quite a bit of space below your video. So you might put something like, I was tired of saying no all the time, and now I get to say yes to my kids more often. Or all I ever wanted was to be home with my kids, and now I am. And so is my husband. So that person that just watched your reel, they're like, yeah, I want that too. That's what you want them thinking. See, I didn't say join my team or anything. I said something to catch their attention, right? All I ever wanted was to be home with my kids, and now I am, and so is my husband. Can you see how that kind of catches their attention? Be careful when you're sharing your story that it doesn't make them think, who cares? Because it's not like you're just talking about you and you don't want them to think, who cares? What you want is you want them to think, me too. That's how I feel, right? And so if you're just sharing about yourself and it's not relevant to them, then they're going to be in that who cares land, right? But if you set them up with a video and a call to action, and then they go to your description and they see that you've achieved exactly what's in their heart right now that they wish were true for them so badly, then they're going to drop that comment. So if you're doing, like, for instance, paycheck to paycheck, you're trying to figure out which bill you're not going to pay, right? And then in the description, you write, I finally got off the hamster wheel and now I get to decide when and where I spend my time and my money. Well, that's what they want too. So that's what's going to get them to actually take the action in commenting below your video. So getting someone to actually comment on your video, it's not a small thing. It's not. Think about your own behavior when you're scrolling. You're literally doing this. You're scrolling, 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 right? So how often do you take the time to stop and comment on someone's TikTok or reel? It's usually because you feel compelled. Maybe they said something that annoyed you, or they said something that you feel needs correction. You know, it's sad, but as humans, we tend to all want to prove someone else wrong. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that's inside of us as humans. And, you know, we obviously want to learn to control that a little bit, but that also will compel you to comment. So you'll also be compelled if someone shows you something that could remove your pain. You know, you're feeling it in here, you're feeling it. It's like, oh, I need this, right? So you know that feeling when you see someone that can remove your pain and you're like, oh my gosh, but she didn't, where do I get this? And because you didn't tell them that, right? You just said drop freedom to learn more or drop whatever, right? So I have so many comments because they want it and they're frantic because they don't have a link. That's what you want. That's what you're looking to build on social media. You want them to feel compelled to comment, and this is how you do it. So don't be afraid of being an open book. You don't, you want to be real because people want the real you. That's who they relate to. That's what catches their attention more than anything. And I love skepticism in my videos too, to keep it real. So I love talking about it all the time. I'll even put it in my call to action. For me, I had no interest in building a business. I had a great job. I never thought I wanted to be an Avon lady, but I am so glad that I finally saw the opportunity that was right in my hands. That's my story. And I call it out because what we do is honest work. We serve others, and in return, it serves us and our families. You show up very powerfully with posture, and you can do that inside your call to action. So that second call to action in your caption or your description can be exactly what you said inside the video, or it could be something else that just expands on what you said in your video, or it could be something really cool happening with your product. Right? We haven't talked much about products. So maybe you have a promo. Hey, 60% off. Message me for a coupon code or whatever. You're an open book. And this is open season inside of your comments. So why is this so important? Well, hate to break it to you, but you're not an influencer. You're not famous, right? People are not actively looking for you because of your name. It's true, right? You're not. None of us are famous. None of us are like top influencers who have hundreds of thousands of followers. And so what it really is people see your video or your post as they're scrolling through social media. That's why your profile on Facebook should be public, not private, not friends only. You should be posting publicly because that's how people are going to find you. So you just happen to have something they like. So you want to capture their attention, and we want to keep them there. We want to keep them there with just a little bit of information. But, sometimes there's a lot of people that that don't know you, who they don't know who you are, and they're introverted and they really don't want to talk to you. And that's okay, especially when it comes to product. You can actually put something in your comments that tells them where to go look for your products or to get started, and other people will love it. Like you could put a link in the comments, right? So they're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have to talk to her to get that product. They're out there, the introverts. There are people that will never comment, and that's okay. And so you can put a link there, right? But what we're trying to do is we're invoking emotion, especially when it comes to recruiting. I wouldn't put your link there in the comments for that, right? Because we're going to create a conversation. But we're invoking emotion and we're triggering something good. We're moving them away from their pain. And so now what are we going to do? Well, high energy here. Seriously, when they get down in the comments, what are we going to do here? Well, this is where we're going to start talking to move them over to Messenger. One of the best things that I've ever found that I learned from another trainer, and this is a powerful little tool, and that's asking for someone's opinion. No one's interested in anything, so we don't ask if they're interested. What we ask is if they're open. Everyone wants to be considered open-minded, right? No one is interested in squat, but they are open-minded, or at least they want to seem that way. So that's why we use the word open. But here, what we want to do is we want to ask their opinion. So in the comments, you're going to say they've dropped that comment, they've dropped whatever it was, freedom or whatever you said, right? And you're going to respond to them with, hey, I just sent you a message. Let me know what you think. 9 times out of 10, they're going to go over to Messenger. And this is important too, because if you're not friends on Facebook, they might not see your message, right? So you have to let them know it's there. And then when we get into this whole conversation starting thing, this is where the board apps really helps. I just recently did some training on the Boards app, and this app has fundamentally changed how I do my business. It's going to take you a little time to get it set up at first, but once you have it, this is huge. It's going to make a huge difference in your business if you use it. So some of the things you'll say all the time, like, hey, I just sent you a message, let me know what you think. Those things you're going to set up in your boards. So let's look at 3 variations of that exact sentence, because you want to have different variations. I'm going to alter it slightly, maybe change a word, add an emoji, remove an emoji, right? Just so it's not exactly the same. And we're going to program those into our Boards app so we can alternate between them. That way you're going to be much less likely to get in trouble with the social media internet gods who decide that you're copying and pasting and then get mad at you, right? Using boards, social media views your inputs as typing rather than copy paste. That's like one of the greatest things about boards is Facebook doesn't see it as copy paste. They see it as you typing something in. And so using boards is a much safer method of running your business and copying rather than copying and pasting messages. I don't ever recommend copying and pasting because that's how you can end up in Facebook jail, especially if you're doing it a lot, especially if you're really working to grow your business. So let's get back to that. So we'll have 3 different variations of the same message, right? So, hey there, I just sent you a message. Let me know what you think. And then you're going to add another one that says, I just sent over a message. Let me know that you got it. And then the third one might be, you should have a message from me. Check your inbox and let me know if you got it. So just a suggestion, when you use the Boards app in the comments part, I wouldn't use their name. That will slow you down. So just, hey there is good for your initial response to their comments. So we're going to give each one a code so that we know what they are. So for example, it could be CM1 for comments message 1, and then CM2 for comments message 3, and CM3, and so on, right? So the reason we put the numbers in is just to kind of keep it straight in our own head. And then when you go into your comments to move people from your reel to Messenger, which is what we recommend, because really you want to keep it all on Facebook, right? If that's where you're talking to them, why would you want to get somebody off the platform unless you have to, right? So if you're on TikTok, you might have to because it's hard to have conversations, or they don't really have a strong messenger. But if you're on Facebook already, it's just such a simple thing to take them to Messenger. And people are used to navigating Facebook, so there's not any issues with that. They'll find your message, and you don't need to be friends with them. In fact, I don't suggest you friend request them at all. Once you get going and you create a conversation with them and you're building a friendship, then create that. Then friend request them. But for right now, no. Just drop this in the comments and then go over to Messenger and leave them a message. They can see then they can find that message when they see the comment, right? So you're going to drop that message into their messenger inbox, and then they're going to come find that message, and you're going to start to have a conversation. And we're going to talk about what that looks like, because there's an awful lot of people making huge mistakes at this part of the journey. So just to reiterate, you have a brilliant call to action. You have a brilliant description, which also includes your call to action. You want to have that repetition because that's what makes it gel. The person feels compelled to drop the word freedom in the comments or whatever word you told them to drop. Make it congruent with the message of your video. So if you're talking about family, you might want to say drop family. Or if you're talking about, I don't know, meal prep, you might want to say drop prep, right? Make it congruent. So then they drop the comment. You're going to go into the comments and you're going to use boards for that response we talked about earlier. Hey, I just sent you a message, right? And then now you're going to pop over to Messenger and you're going to use boards for that first message to that person. So I hope this makes sense. So I'm going to drive it home now. You guys, this is going to make you a lot of money if you do this right. This is going to help you build online like you've never built before if you do this right and you learn how to do it, right? So if you do it right, you can be in many, many, many conversations every single day. So wrap your head around that, right? This is huge. So we've all heard we need to build rapport. I just want to touch on this really quickly because that's not really the answer. I know we've heard it and they tell us you need to be to build that rapport. But what happens is you build rapport and you never get to the product or the opportunity. You're just working on building rapport. You're spending all day getting to know your prospects. You're asking about their kids. You're looking at their pictures from their wedding. You know what they did last night. You're working to know everything about your prospect, but you never had a business conversation with them. And that's just taking your time and you're not building your business. You've never asked them to take a look at your product or your opportunity. You think you're working hard, but you're not doing anything that's actually income producing, right? You don't really need to get to know your prospects until after they decide to buy something from you or after they join you. I mean, we're not here to play. We're here to build a business, right? So if you want to make money and have more options to be able to honor the dreams in your heart, you don't have all day to chit chat. So your goal is to sift and sort as quickly as possible. And that's why I'm doing this training with you. Because what we do is we get people into an inbox, into Messenger, right? Your job is not to pretend that you're their friend. That is so inauthentic and people see right through it. You know, I get that all the time. I get people that send me a message and I'm looking at it going, why did you send me that, right? So instead, you're seeing if they're open to what you're doing. And if she says no to you and you do happen to really get along, then you can build a relationship for the sake of the relationship, if it's something you want, right? If she says yes and becomes a customer or a team member, then of course you're going to work hard to build that relationship. There's just no reason to do it before that. So instead of building rapport, we create it in an instant. So, and you know, it's funny, if you're actually present at the same time as this person, if you're actually in the inbox talking to each other, this literally takes like 30 seconds or less. And then once you've created that rapport, that person is going to tell you their entire life story. You're not going to believe this. I mean, they're going to feel connected to you. They're going to feel like you authentically care because you do. You're not fake pretending to be your friend. You're being to the point and concise, but you're being very heart-centered and caring and clear. And people want clear more than they want fake friend, right? They want to know that you can help them. That's what they're looking for. So create rapport and get right to the point. Creating rapport rather than building rapport is the magic key to opening that box. You're literally 2 questions away from finding out if they're sick, if someone recently died, if they're renovating their house, if they've got kids. See, this is a genuine connection. It's not pretending that you want to be friends, because we're not. That's not what we're doing. We're not sending them a message because we want to be friends, right? We're creating that genuine connection. So let me just sidetrack for just a second, go back to that Boards app. Your Boards app is going to keep you out of Facebook gel. So I'm not looking for you to be sitting in front of your phone all day, right? So carve out some time to do this. Figure out what you want out of your business. You know, you guys, if your goals are huge, you're not building your business on just 1 hour a day. Seriously, if your goals are huge, if you're in that many conversations, you need to be able to reply at different times throughout the day. But then when you look back 60 to 90 days from now, your business is going to explode because your pipeline is full. So when you're responding to them different times throughout the day, that's where the boards app's going to make it super simple for you, because you can do it no matter where you're at, right? So it's going to help you scale your time. I mean, we all want to work smarter rather than harder. And if you have a reel that takes off, and all of a sudden you get, hundreds of comments and you're starting to get all kinds of engagement, if you don't have things set up in your boards app and you start responding to every one of them, you could end up in Facebook jail. And then you're not going to be able to respond to all those people that are interested. So now we're going to talk about what we say in Messenger. So this is gold, you guys. The Higdon group really has this down, and that's why I want to do this training with you guys. So my very first question that I ask in Messenger is this. So, hey, thanks so much for the comment on my reel about how to make extra money online. It's so nice to meet you. I'd love to know, what do you currently do for a living? That's it. That's what I ask. They want more information. They drop freedom, and this is what I respond. So that question about what do you currently do for a living is going to tell you a lot about the person we're talking to. And asking that question gives you the opportunity to do something brilliant, which is edify the heck out of them. When you can edify someone in just 10 seconds, you're going to secure them like no one else is even going to matter again, because you're making them feel seen and appreciated. You can do that. If you can do that 10, 20, 30 times a day, man, you are going to be the queen of building online. That's your goal, is to make people feel appreciated. And that question allows us to do just that. So then when they respond, what do you do for a living? They respond. Tell them something about why they're so amazing that they do that kind of work. Seriously, that's all it takes. But so how do you answer if they're out of work, or if they say, I'm just a mom? Right? Well, you know what? Every single person is doing something wonderful. Everybody is. We're all human. We're all people, and we're all doing something, right? So if they're a mom, my answer is always, oh my gosh, that's the hardest and most rewarding job on the planet. Thank you for doing it. We need more moms at home. Can you see how that makes them feel good? Or how about if they're on disability or they're unemployed? Well, you can respond with, oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing that with me. That's okay. You've probably been busting your chops for years, and currently right now, you're in between trying to figure out your options. You're amazing. Pat yourself on the back. Or maybe they're a nurse, right? Oh my gosh, this is what I know to be true about nurses. You're the hardest, most stellar working people on the planet, and I know that it's sometimes undervalued. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you for what you do. You're amazing. Edify them, and then ask them if they're open. So if you're using the Boards app, and if you've been following my training, I've shared an online beauty biz Boards app with you. I just recently added these in there for you, the edifying them and the comment message and the messages. I added these into the boards to help you. Excuse me. And as you get going, obviously you can make it your own. You'll be adding, and you'll be, it'll just grow with you, right? So, but here's the thing. I mean, this is your opportunity to create rapport, but most of the time, they don't just say, I'm a nurse or I'm a teacher. Sometimes they will, but instead you're going to get, oh, I'm a this, and I work this many hours, and my husband and I have this going on, and I'm just exhausted. So this is why it creates rapport, because nobody gives them the opportunity to talk when you're actually listening. People don't feel heard in their lives a lot of the time. So now they have somebody who's actually asking. So they're going to tell you, and then some. So then the next question is this. You've edified them, right? So now you're going to say, curious, are you looking for a little wiggle room in your budget, or are you looking to eventually replace your current income? Now, if they don't have a job right now, I would change that up a bit. I would say, curious, are you looking for a little wiggle room in your budget, or are you looking to eventually create a more substantial income? Because they're not replacing anything right now. So it might not make sense to say replace, right? So obviously you're going to tailor the messages to who you're speaking with and what they said. But usually what people will answer with that is, well, I really need some wiggle room, but I'm totally open to more. And then you can lead with, great, here's what we can do next. And then give them the link to your board's prospecting page that best fits them. So we did a training on the boards pages last week, and I'll link that below this video in case you missed it. And on my shared board with Online Beauty Biz, we have some pages that I created, and you can create more so that you can use those to share with these people, right? So now you can get them in front of your video using that boards page. You guys, once you get this system down, you're going to fall in love with what you're doing. This is going to put you in a place where you're helping people, you're edifying people, and you're telling them that what they're doing is awesome and okay. So some of these people who are out of work are struggling. You know, do you know how they might feel right now? How would you feel if someone said, that's okay, you've probably been busting your booty, so let's find out if this is going to work for you. So the line, this is what we're going to do next, is critical. That's what you're always going to say. This is what we're going to do next. Check out this link or check out this video, right? Because you're the leader, you're in control, and people want to be told what to do. They want to have the stuff in front of them, and they want to be told what comes next. So, you know, just one little sidetrack here. I promise I won't do too many more of these, but you might not want every single person you're talking to on your team, and that's okay. You want to have a little posture. You've had a little bit, you've kind of had some back and forth with them, and you've had a little bit of an opportunity to see if they gel with you. And if they're being snarky or nasty, then you can just tell them this is not a good fit for them and move on. Seriously, remember, these people have responded to your reel and your call to action. They responded by dropping a comment. You are not cold calling anyone. You are not begging. You are responding to them, asking you for information. Remember that and keep your power, right? So then you can send them a link to whichever board's landing page that's best suited for that situation. So here's what you can say. So great, here's what we can do next. I have a short video for you that talks more about how this works, and then give them the link that has the specific board's prospecting page that best suits them, right? And then you can say, the video is only a couple of minutes long. I've got a pretty busy day today, but I should be able to circle back and check on you a little bit later. Feel free to drop me a quick thumbs up if you've had a chance to watch the video. So you've given them the link to watch the video, and now you'll check back the next day or later the same day to see if there's any questions you can answer for them, and then continue to follow up as appropriate. Remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. It takes an average of 5 to 12 contacts before someone will take action. So stay in the follow-up, right? So how do you talk about products? Well, you know what? It's the same, really. You're going to respond to the comment with, hey, I just sent you a message. Let me know what you think, or some version of that, right? And then you're going to hop into Messenger and you're going to send them a message. Hey, so nice to meet you. Would you like to learn more about XYZ product? I'd be happy to share it with you. You're just confirming that they asked for information, and you're going to let them respond, right? And so then they respond, and then you're going to say, so tell me, I'm curious, what worked for you in the past, and what are you looking to get out of this product? Wait for their response again, and then you can say something like, well, I just wanted to share a little bit of my journey with this product because I believe it will help you, and then explain your experience with the product, and then share your link, and then if you have any questions or need anything at all, I'm here. So the point of all of these messages is to help the person feel heard. It gives them a chance to be able to share what they've been through. So this is how you build online, you guys. It's just rinse and repeat. You create posts and videos on social media that are aimed to capture people's attention, and then you start conversations, and then you take them to Messenger. Set a goal for how many conversations you want to start every day. 10 to 20 is a good number. Obviously, the more conversations you have, the faster your business is going to grow. But if you keep that up, you're going to see a huge difference in your business in the next 60 to 90 days. Seriously, you've got this. Go out there and grow an amazing business. I know you've got this. I believe in you. Thanks for being here today. I hope you found this helpful. So go out there and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.